Ever been the type to dim your own joy so no one else feels small beside your light? Well, if that's you, then today is your homecoming. Because here, we don't shrink, we unfold. Here, your emotions don't need to hide, apologize, or make themselves convenient. Today, we're learning to name what we feel without shame and to let every truth, quiet or bright, finally breathe. If you're interested in showing up exactly as you are, no masks, no apologies, and no shrinking yourself to fit someone else's comfort, then you're in the right place. Hi everyone, I'm Marie Crisostomo. Stay with me as I share with you how we can create a space where honesty feels safe and emotions don't have to whisper. Because before we can honor what we feel, we need to understand why naming those emotions is such a powerful act. Most of us grew up thinking emotions are just things that happen to us. It's like waves crashing without warning. But here's the secret: emotions aren't here to confuse you, they're here to guide you. And when you name them, you take back the steering wheel. Think about it. When you can say, I feel anxious or I feel frustrated, suddenly the chaos has a shape. It stops being a storm inside your head and starts being information you can work with. That clarity reduces the tide of feelings and helps you make better decisions, whether it's at work, with friends, or in your relationships. Here's a major point: knowing your emotions isn't just about understanding yourself, it's also about timing and place. When you know exactly what you feel, you can choose when and how to speak it. So your words land with care and impact, not impulsiveness. Clarity creates timing, and timing creates peace. So, naming emotions isn't weakness, it's ownership, it's power, it's wisdom. And the more you practice it, the more your life feels less like surviving waves and more like steering your own ship, calm, aware, and intentional. Now that we've seen why naming our emotions is a superpower, it's time to face the flip side, the reason so many of us struggle to do it. Why do we hesitate to even admit what we feel? Why do some emotions feel wrong or embarrassing? From a young age, we learn that anger is bad, sadness is weak, and jealousy is shameful. Society, family, even peers teach us, sometimes subtly, sometimes loudly, that certain emotions aren't acceptable. So, this conditioning creates what I like to call the shame trap. It's a quiet, sneaky force that convinces us to shrink our emotional truth. Like we smile when we're hurt, we nod when we're angry, we laugh off jealousy or envy, and over time we lose touch with the very signals that are trying to guide us. But here's the thing: no feeling is inherently wrong. Emotions are data, they tell us what we need, what we value, and what's out of balance in our lives. When we judge them or hide them, we're cutting ourselves off from that guidance. Breaking the shame trap starts with noticing it, recognizing the moments when you tuck away anger, dismiss sadness, or cover up fear. Naming it even quietly to yourself is the first act of reclaiming your emotional freedom. And remember, the major note we talked about before: understanding your emotions also helps you communicate wisely. Even the most uncomfortable feelings, when named and expressed at the right time and place, become a bridge instead of a burden. Ever caught yourself saying, I'm fine, when inside you're swirling with frustration, anger, sadness, or even joy you're too shy to share? That's where emotional vocabulary becomes a superpower. Naming emotions isn't just about sophistication, it's about precision. Saying I feel unheard instead of I'm fine gives your mind clarity, your body relief, and the people around you a chance to understand and respond appropriately. It's the difference between dumping a flood of feelings on yourself or someone else and proceeding with clarity. I know this is very difficult. I've been there so many times. So, how do you start building this vocabulary? Start with a feelings list with words such as anxious, hopeful, frustrated, grateful, overwhelmed. Practicing each word with a brief explanation: I feel anxious because, or I feel hopeful about because, or I appreciate you because you know, building this habit builds accuracy. It's the start of true expression. Knowing exactly what you feel allows you to share it at the right time and in the right place. Precision in language creates precision in action. It helps you speak from understanding rather than impulse, turns emotional honesty into thoughtful communication. So, expanding your emotional vocabulary isn't just a skill, it's freedom. Freedom to be understood, freedom to make better choices, and freedom to finally live without hiding your truth. And now that we've learned to put our feelings into words, the next challenge is learning how to sit with them, especially the difficult ones. Because naming your emotions is just a start. The real growth happens when you acknowledge them without letting them take over or disappear into silence. Difficult emotions like anger, sadness, frustration, and grief can feel like wild storms inside us. The instinct is either to explode, letting us lash out at others, or implode, keeping them until they fester and become something we're unable to control. Both extremes cost us peace, clarity, and connection. So, what do we do about those? First step is simple: pause. Give yourself permission to feel without judgment. Label the emotion, like I feel angry, I feel hurt, or even I feel confused, I'm excited. Naming it is already part of regulating it. Next, breathe. Slow, deep breaths signal your body that you're safe even if your mind wants to run. Ground yourself. Notice your surroundings, your posture, your senses. These small anchors remind you that emotions are information, not instructions. Then reflect. Ask yourself, what is this feeling telling me, or what does my heart need right now? This transforms raw energy into insight, turning discomfort into guidance. Understanding your emotions and processing them calmly gives you the wisdom to speak or act at the right time and in the right place. By sitting with feelings instead of suppressing or exaggerating them, you reclaim your power, your clarity, and your peace. And now that we know how to sit with our feelings, the next step is learning how to express them, to give voice to what's inside without fear or shame, because emotions only truly serve us when they're acknowledged and shared thoughtfully. Naming your emotions privately is powerful, but speaking them out loud is where connection happens. It's how your feelings become bridges instead of burdens. Start simple. Use clear, honest statements like, I feel unheard when, or I feel overwhelmed and I need a moment to process this, or I feel hopeful about this and I want to share my excitement. Do you have a moment? Practice doesn't mean rehearsing like a play. No, it means giving yourself permission to be human, to communicate your truth without fear or judgment. Context matters too. Choosing the right time and place ensures your words land with care, not conflict. Take, for example, in relationships, whether with friends, family, or partners, This clarity builds trust. People respond to honesty better than to suppressed feelings or sudden outbursts. You know it. And here's the most important point: your emotions are not liabilities, they are signals. Naming them is not weakness, it's self respect in action. More importantly, every time you choose honesty over shame, you strengthen your relationship with yourself. You know, it's that inner clarity that becomes your anchor, especially when life gets loud. Speaking your feelings isn't just about being heard, it's about being fully alive, fully present, and fully you. So, I hope today's episode helped give clarity to what's always been confusing. If you feel someone also needs to hear this, do share this with them. And thank you. Thank you for staying. Thank you for listening. And until then, take care.